So congratulations to you both on a really lovely film. Jessica, I wondered where the idea came from for the story, because you do strike that balance between the piece of the countryside and Blitz-hit London.
Right. Yes. Well, actually, when I started writing it, I wasn't sure that it was going to be set in the Second World War at all. That really came about when I realised that in order to have the boy delivered to this mysterious hermit-like character, it was going to be really important to give him a proper reason to be there, and so that was why he was an evacuee. But the original inspiration came really from asking myself what cinema could do. Having worked in theatre a good deal before that, I really wanted to, you know, I was making my first film, I wanted to direct it, and I thought, well, what can I do with a huge movie screen that is different from the stories that we tell in our everyday lives? And I love the fact that in cinema, it's such a visual medium, you can create magic. And so why not tell stories that have elements of magic and imagination that are beyond what we see with our everyday eyes? And so that was where I started thinking about magic, and then the possibilities of folklore and legends, and loving the countryside and being outside as well. The more I read about English folklore and all of those tales of the sea and the landscape and pagan myths, I thought this is really irresistible material, and it belongs on our screens and on our big screens as well, which is another reason why I'm so excited that this film is going to be back as the cinemas reopen.
And Gemma, what was it about the role that made you want to play it? What makes a role jump out off the page for you, makes you go, yes?
Well, in this instance, I think it was the complexity of Alice, that she's not, you know, she portrays one thing and she is something else. And so that's always great. There's, you know, there's a sort of undercurrent to her that you have to play and find. But also, I love the wit. You know, Jess writes with such great wit, and there's always jokes in there. There's always humour, and I love playing comedy, even though she's not an out and out comedic character. That was something that I wanted to find a way of playing someone that was not necessarily likable, but someone that you enjoyed watching. And I think that she is that. She relishes in being difficult.
Yes, she does.
But she also goes on such a huge journey, and you know, and that's she transforms during the piece, but not in a kind of, you know, obvious way. It's more internal transformation and softening, and that's always appealing when you're deciding to play a character. Like, where do they go? How do they grow? How do they change?
So Jessica, sorry, I was thinking about some of the characters in the film age, but you haven't used prosthetics or digital effects for it. You've actually used different actors. Why did you take that route?
Because, well, there's 3 periods in the film, and obviously in the first 2 periods, and when we meet them in the 1920s and the 1940s, I've used the same actors to play those 2 women when they're young and when they're still young but not quite so young. But I really wanted to show aging in a truthful way, and I didn't want people to be distracted actually by the process of, you know, sometimes I think it slightly takes us out of the picture for a moment if you think, oh, there's Gemma who's actually 30 something playing a 70-year-old. It would be such a big leap. And I love working with those sort of stalwart actors, and people like Penelope and Tom Courtenay bring so much to a film in terms of what they can offer. I like to show aging in a real way, and I think that's really important. I think it's really important that we embrace the fact that women do look very different at that older point in their lives, and they are beautiful in different ways, and yet they still have the same spirit. And it's such a lovely joy to work with 2 people playing the same role as well. The fun that we had with doing that, and with Penelope and Gemma, for example, working together on Alice, to see how fundamentally, even though she is in love again at the end and has got all of that brightness back, she's still cantankerous, because I didn't want to, I like a happy ending, but I also like a bit of realism. So I want to make sure she's still the sort of writer that would bang her door closed in someone's face if they interrupt her.
So quick final question for you, Gemma. We're going to be seeing you at some stage on TV in Black Narcissus. So you'll be looking different again. What's it like making a TV version of such a classic movie? Because you're in the Deborah Carr role, aren't you?
That's right, yeah. I mean, our film, we absolutely have paid homage to the original film. There are certain shots in there that we've used and done our version of, but I think the book by Ruma Godden is, we're very close to the book. We have more time, and we can really delve into the characters and their psychology, and the book is so fantastic. If anyone hasn't seen it, read the book. So our version, it's just it's another version. It's another retelling of the book. Still very cinematic, but obviously because we have more time, we could really get into the nitty-gritty of the characters and the thriller aspect of the book.
Looking forward to that one. Thank you both very much indeed.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.